Hi, good afternoon. My name is Jeffrey Hollander. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a chartered accountant and I'm the managing partner at Cameron Brown Hollander. We're a boutique firm in the West End specialising in family and family style businesses. These are crazy, unprecedented times. No one has really seen anything like this before. And whilst the focus is rightly on health and staying safe, and I hope everyone out there is staying safe, there's also going to be a huge economic effect of this virus. I will be there for all of my clients and for as many other people as I can. I want to help make sense through these turbulent times from a financial perspective. Please feel free to comment below or to email me at Jeffrey, that's GEOFFREY at cbhcharliebravohotel.co.uk, and I will help whenever I can. In this first video, I want to unpick the announcements that the Chancellor has made so far with regard to coronavirus and what it means for you and me. I'm going to prioritise them by the areas which are most relevant for my clients, but will touch on all of them. Please listen carefully, as I will also be distinguishing between those measures which have a real permanent cash boosts, i.e. the government is giving you money and you're not going to have to pay them back, and the others, which unfortunately is most of them, where there's just a cash flow advantage, which means that at some point you are going to have to give that money back. These are obviously slightly less attractive, but of course still need to be considered. Last word of introduction, these are very, very early days. The government has rushed out its announcements, which are meant to put people's mind at rest, but the details are very few and far between. I will try to tell you what I know, what I don't know, and as more details emerge, I will try and post further videos. Please do bear with us, but these are, as I say, early days and uncertain times. There are 10 measures which the Chancellor has given so far. Those 10 are set out on the Govt.uk website, and there is a document which backs this up, although the document, as I said before, is pretty light on detail. Going through these items in the order which I think are going to be most relevant. Number 1, payments on account. For anyone who's on self-assessment and who pays payments on account twice during the year, so they'll pay half in January, the 31st of January, and the other half on the 31st of July. They have said do not pay the one on 31st of July, and there will be no interest and no penalties. That means that you don't need to worry from a cash perspective about finding the money in July. This is only a temporary measure though, and you will have to pay the full tax amount of your 1920 bill on the 31st of January 2021 as things stand. So it's just a deferral. Nevertheless, it's a good cash advantage. You do not have to do anything specific to apply for it. Everyone is entitled and you just will not have to pay it. Number 2, similarly for VAT, any business which is registered for VAT, and you will know who you are if you're paying VAT, do not pay your VAT on the next quarter's bill. It's not exactly clear. They're referring to dates between 20th March and 30th June. It's not clear if that's the payment date or if that's the quarter date as of yet. But essentially, your next quarter's bill, you will not have to pay, and you will have to pay that back over the next 9 months. Again, not clear at the moment whether you have to pay it in one lump at the end. Certainly, if you can, try to make some payments on account, or put the money aside so that you can pay it at the end. But a big cash flow advantage in terms of VAT. You will not have to pay your VAT bill this quarter. Number 3, statutory sick pay relief for SMEs. So anyone who's a small and medium business will have extra ability to reclaim sick pay if your employees are off because of coronavirus, and probably if they're supporting someone with coronavirus as well, or if they're in isolation. Certainly if they have it themselves, they can get statutory sick pay. So normally the employer has to suffer the cost of statutory sick pay, but for 2 weeks the government is going to be able to reclaim that. So everyone who's got employees off because of coronavirus, ask the question, ask the person who prepares your payroll, and almost certainly you will get that money back and you should be paying statutory sick pay. So we've got three measures so far: payments on account, number one; VAT deferral, number two; and statutory sick pay relief, number three. Of those three, the statutory sick pay is the only one so far which is actual cash in your pocket. That is cash that you would not have had before, that the government is offering to pay. Number four, the job retention scheme. Okay, this is also going to be cash in your pocket as employers. The government announced on Friday. The details are really light. They said that they're going to have this in place by the end of April, hopefully, with some information this week. But what they're trying to do is to guarantee £2,500 of wages, which will be up to 80% of an employee's wages, which is meant to encourage you to keep them on during the coronavirus and not to sack staff or not to have to lay them off. The details are going to be incredibly complicated. I can just envisage what's going to happen. First of all, you've got employment law to deal with, which is not my area, but you are also going to have to deal with the HMRC and try and understand exactly how this system's going to work. It's not clear if it's 2,500 gross, 2,500 net, if that's the 80%, if that's the 100%. All these sort of questions are really up in the air, but it does seem to be that there's going to be some money for low and middle paid workers. So it's not just the lowest paid workers, it's up to sort of £30,000, which is quite a nice salary, certainly outside London and even inside London, and the government will be paying up to 80% of that in order to incentivise you to keep staff on. That looks like it's going to be very attractive. Everyone is very excited about this one, of course, because it is the one which is the most cash that the government are actually putting in without asking you to repay it, but the details of which are very light. I don't have anything more at the moment. Hopefully later this week we will have some more details. Number five, the business interruption loan scheme, which is also looks quite interesting in that the government is saying that through the British Business Bank and also via many of the high street banks, they will be lending businesses up to £5 million if they are SMEs. Again, small, medium enterprises. You can be pretty big before you have to worry about being a large enterprise. So certainly anything up to about £20 million turnover, you don't have to worry about being a large business. So you would qualify for a loan of up to £5 million and interest free. Initially told that the interest would be free for 6 months. Now the interest is going to be free for 12 months. So again, a very interesting opportunity to borrow some money to help you through. That money is going to be paid back. The only permanent relief, is the interest for the first 12 months. But again, details very light. Are we going to be able to get those loans? What will you have to do? What sort of security are you going to have to offer? In addition to the government putting up their 80%, guaranteeing 80%, very, very light on detail, and they're hoping that's going to be out, they say, again by the end of April. Let us hope that will come through and actually will help businesses. Number six is not a cash incentive at all, except it is extending the time to pay regime to allow many more businesses to call HMRC and just tell them that they're struggling, and HMRC have been told that they need to be sensible and try to listen to as many people as possible and offer them sensible times to pay. So if you have any tax debt at all, whether it's PAYE or income tax or corporation tax, anything at all, just call up HMRC and hopefully they will be able to help, and they will be open to listening to such things. I don't know how well that's going to work. Hopefully that will be a good opportunity. 7, 8 and 9 and 10, I'm just going to run through very, very quickly because they don't affect many of my clients, but just to be aware, number 7 is that there's some business rates relief for certain industries, including leisure and hospitality and some nurseries. That's been offered for 12 months. There's grants for of £10,000 for businesses who qualify already for small business rates relief. Those are really people who are in the smallest of properties, up to about, I think it's £15,000 of rateable value, so fairly low value. So you will know, and that is being claimed directly. That is a cash advantage, but it's being claimed directly through the rates process. Grants of £25,000 for certain businesses, again, retail, leisure, in the businesses which are most affected from corona. And finally, for at the other end of the scale, if you're a much larger firm, the government is offering lending facilities for larger firms, so that larger firms also can access extra finance. Sorry, it's a little bit rushed. As I say, detail is light. If I've made any mistakes, again, I apologise, because, again, rushing through, did want to get something out so that people feel that at least they've got some information, because there is so little out there. We are here for you. We are going to try and support you as far as possible. The information is coming thick and fast, and we all need to try and make sense of it. For the moment, stay safe, look after yourselves, and we'll be in touch very soon.